What is going on, guys? It is Russ, and today we're going to go ahead and talk about if it's ever too late to buy Skyrim. Now, I got this idea from a friend on PC, and of course he wanted to ask me if it was ever too late because he was thinking about purchasing the game, but he did know that a lot of people have already played it, and it's kind of like watching an old movie. You know, it's like going back and watching, say, I don't know, Lion King or something. It's like, you kind of second think it because it's like, alright, so everyone's already seen it. What's kind of the point of seeing it now? It's kind of old. It's kind of old news. And many people second think about getting it because, it's an older game. Now, keep in mind that I'm referring to the PC version of the game here, as the console version doesn't have any mods. However, that doesn't mean the console version is too old either. Basically, it just means that the PC has an advantage because it has mods. That being said, guys, let's go ahead and get to what these mods have and what they have to offer as far as the game mechanics and stuff like that. Now, generally, a lot of modifications provide, a major, they change the game's appearance, so it's kind of a texture mod, if you will. Some, provide other places that you can go. For instance, maybe they'll offer a cave or two that you can explore. Some offer maybe another home or something, such as the Breeze Home mod that, it adds another house that you can go to store your weapons and such. And others just kind of add kind of fun features, such as, new characters, war zones, stuff like that. I mean, it's crazy, guys. The amount of mods, the amount of categories available for all these mods is just major. It's just massive, So when you're looking into these mods, you really got to look and check out all of the mods because there's so many available, and chances are, whatever type of thing that you're interested in, it's on there. It's in the browser. So if you want your hair to turn blue or something, it's probably on there. There's tons of mods on there. So, some of my favorites are the ones that maybe add a home or two, because, I have a lot of stuff going on all those Skyrim adventures, and I need a place to keep it all, So what I'll do is, there's a mod out there that, of course adds a ship to the game, and you can explore this ship, and this is basically your ship, and you can keep, weapons. There's a smithing area, there's all of this stuff. And it's a really cool mod because not only is it visually appealing, but it is also adds another mechanic to the game, whereas, you have a more place to store your stuff, You don't have to travel from home to home to, keep all your stuff. And it also just makes the game a lot simpler and a lot easier to maneuver around. But, a lot of you guys are probably asking, what do these mods have to do with if I should buy the game or not, What does it have to do with, is the game too old? Well, what I'm telling you guys is, by having these mods, by Skyrim and Bethesda letting everyone use these mods, basically the game is going to carry on for as long as people make mods, The game is constantly changing, and when there's a new guy out there, a new developer that's like, I want to make a mod for Skyrim, it's going to totally change it, It's going to totally change the atmosphere of Skyrim, and, the progression might be the same, but there's always going to be different stuff. Some of the mods that I've seen allow you to have an entire new UI where it's, it's all organized and it's all nice in a nice fashion. So I just feel like as long as people are making mods for this game, is as long as this game's going to continue on, which I think it's going to go on for years. It's just going to be one of those games on the internet that just carries on, just like World of Warcraft or something along those lines. But it's just, I feel like this game it's never too late to get one of these games. It's never too late to get Skyrim. It's never too late to get any game, really, that's an open world modded game. It's just, it's going to go on forever. So now you probably need to think to yourself and decide, is this something that I want to look into, And so I'll go ahead and show you guys the gameplay, in the background, and show you guys some of the mods that I can feature, as well as I can share with you guys some of the mods that maybe will interest you. Alright, guys, so one of the mods that I thought that I clearly had to mention, because let me tell you guys, this is a time saver, and even though some of the times I'm having problems, mainly because I have so many mods, so sometimes it takes a long time to load this screen up, but usually you don't get that. You know, if you guys have maybe a nicer computer, or maybe even have less mods installed, this is going to be really quick and easy for you guys to just check out all the categories. So basically what this mod is called Sky UI. And basically what this does, guys, is it allows you to have like this awesome interface, and I'll show you guys on the screen here, but you can browse and there's various categories, and it's just a nice laid out menu. You know, I never really liked the regular menu that included with the game, mainly because it was really hard to kind of scroll through and try to figure out where, you know, what everything is. With this Sky UI menu, you can see all of the categories clearly labeled. You know, each one has its own little, you know, individual icon, as well as they're also color coded and stuff. And you can also star them, and you know, it's just so nicely laid out, and so well refined that I just feel like this is one of those mods that you just have to have on your Skyrim platform. But I definitely recommend this, if anything at all. You know, even if you guys aren't one of those heavy guys or mod heavy guys that are just, you know, they want to load their Skyrim with as many mods as possible, I'd still totally recommend this, because it just, you know, it makes overall browsing easier, you know, and why wouldn't you want that, right? So, you know, I definitely recommend it. And remember, guys, I will leave all of the mod links in the description, so you can find those and, you know, play around with them and check them out for yourselves if you want to. Moving on to the next one. Alright guys, so moving on to the next mod. This is very similar in the aspect that it is kind of UI based. However, it's a lot more visual, and the mod itself is called A Quality World Map with Roads. And basically what this does is it makes it a lot more detailed. Like the generic map is kind of, I mean, it's nice, it's cool, I like it, but at the same time, you know, this mod developer has taken that and put it to the next level by adding different types of maps, you know, roads, adding more of a 3D aspect to it, and just making the overall design of it look a lot more HD, you know. It makes it a lot more of a better feel, and takes advantage of some of those people that maybe have more, you know, a little bit more power on their graphics card. So I definitely would recommend this for someone that's just looking for more of a graphical experience, you know, as well as it is a very helpful mod as well. You know, there is a lot of different add-ons as well, such as quests, you know, booklets and stuff like that, waypoints, you know, just kind of an overall kind of overhaul of the map itself. So I definitely recommend this one as well, and it is kind of more of one of those low-key mods. I definitely would say that. It's not really, you don't, you know, run into it all the time. It's not like, man, it's major change, you know, but it's another one of those mods that it's like, you know, if you're not mod heavy with it, you know, then definitely I would recommend this if you don't want to just go crazy with it, if you want to keep that vanilla Skyrim feel. Moving on down the line of mods, here's a really cool one that I really enjoy a lot more than some of these other mods, mainly because it really changes the game and you actually notice a major difference, especially when, you know, in combat. Now the mod itself is called Enhanced Blood Textures, and as you would believe, it makes all of the textures, all of the blood textures, more of a, you know, a real feel to it, you know. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you've ever, you know, roamed Skyrim and you see the blood, it just doesn't seem, you know, it doesn't have that feel of realism to it. But this mod makes it to where it's a lot more realistic. The blood is kind of scattered, it's kind of got a shine to it. It's just, it looks really good, you know, and depending on what attack you use, the type of blood will change, you know, and I really like that feature, because if you're using a sword, you know, I think you're going to get a different effect than, say, using, you know, a hammer, like a stone hammer or something. So basically what it does, guys, is it just kind of enhances the blood textures and makes them a lot more detailed, and, you know, it separates the hit splatters and makes static place blood. It allows different wounds based on the weapon type, and it also increases the duration for blood on weapons. So, I mean, it's overall kind of more of those people that kind of like the gore aspect of it. You know, they like the whole Viking, you know, style of it, I guess, if you will. And this is definitely one of those mods that you go straight in and you notice it, you know, right out of the gate, instead of just kind of being like, oh, you know, it's kind of here, you know. So if this is for you, I mean, I definitely recommend it. I mean, it's one of those ones that I definitely, you know, don't regret installing. Now, a lot of you guys are probably have noticed, you know, before, kind of in the beginning of the video, I did mention that, you know, of course you could add homes, through mods. Now, this is a really awesome one, guys. And of course, this is a major change. If you like those major changes, this is perfect. Now, this mod's called the Astria, and basically what it does is it adds this massive floating ship as sort of a home that you can go to store some of your stuff, store armor, store weapons. And let me tell you guys, I mean, it could be as simple as just adding a bunch of chests in this kind of blocky room, but these guys went all out. They made this massive ship. They'd fully detailed this thing. Everything's well done, and I totally recommend it because it is, they put a lot of work into this mod. I feel like when I went into this thing, I wasn't like, oh, these guys are kind of slacked off. They made the ship float, but it doesn't really kind of add anything. But there's so many small details in this ship that just make it complete. Of course, you can go into like there's like a little secret entrance. You can click on it, and you can go into like this little engine room. And you can't do anything in the engine room, but the fact that they just included it just to make it look cool, I mean, that's just the kind of things that I like to see in mods, just stuff added just because it adds visuals to the game. So I definitely recommend this mod as well. If maybe you're running out of space, maybe you have a bunch of stuff and you maybe want a cool place to keep it, or maybe you just want a nice visual to add to the game, so when you're kind of walking along you see this awesome cool ship and floating in the sky. But either way, this is definitely an awesome mod to install. Alright guys, so that's about it. That's all I have to show for you guys. I don't want this video to get too long. I do have a few things to upload as well. I do have a Minecraft video to upload for those of you Minecraft fans. However, before we go ahead and head out, I do want to show you guys an extra mod that I kind of stumbled across that I thought was pretty neat, and it kind of adds a little bit of visuals to the game, and this is called Enhanced Night Skyrim. Now, of course, it has to be nighttime to see this thing, but man, let me tell you guys, it makes the total difference. During the nighttime, it just adds planets, it adds stars, it adds like little cool features to the sky. And sometimes when you look up in the sky, you're kind of tired of that blackness. You want to see an amazing starry night sky. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys, you think about buying the game. If not, that's fine. But I definitely recommend it because honestly, this game is probably going to be fun for a while. And I picked it up. I picked it up actually years ago, and I've still been playing it to this day because of all the new mods. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later in the next video.